So if you don't mind, Hank, if I could start with you, what is your background? How long have you been superintendent now?
I started my 14th year here in Salem, and this is my 29th year as a school superintendent. I had 2 previous superintendencies in my other lives, as I refer to, and so it's a job and a responsibility that I think I've become quite familiar with after these near 3 decades of service as a school superintendent.
What were the other schools?
My first position was north here in this state in a multi-district school administrative unit that had 7 school districts, 7 different school boards, and I was there for 2 years, and it was based in Littleton, New Hampshire. And then in 1975, after spending 2 years in that position, the family and I relocated to Windham, where we currently live. And I became the first superintendent of a new school administrative unit that combined the Pelham and Windham school districts. And then here I am since 1989 serving Salem.
So what brought you to Salem was the idea of the post of superintendent?
Well, actually, I left the superintendency for 1 year. I had been recruited by the Commissioner of Education at that time to join his executive staff. As the chief administrator for the state of New Hampshire in the Division of Instructional Services. I became quickly disenchanted with the bureaucracy of state government, and my predecessor, Dr. Paul Johnson, was retiring here in Salem, obviously living next door, having been a close associate of Dr. Johnson's while I was a colleague of his, serving in the other 2 school districts. It seemed to make good sense that I apply for this position and get back in the field where the action was. And I had the good fortune of having the then Salem School Board select me as their superintendent in the summer of 1989.
What made you want to go into education? What was it that
Well,
triggered it?
yeah, what triggers it, I think, for most of us is that you have a teacher or a coach or a principal, but someone who has impacted your life during your experience as a student. And I had in my particular case, I had an elementary 8th grade teacher, I had a high school football coach, and I had a college coach and advisor who I found to be people of outstanding qualities in terms of not only their character, but their ability to motivate and stimulate me to want to do more with my life than I thought ever possible. And that said to me, I think I can offer that to some other people. I think I would like to follow that path. So I studied to be a teacher, and here I am today.
Would that be the same with you, Mike?
Well, as far as my influence, it was probably my dad, who was a high school teacher and also a high school guidance counselor. And I could see the influence and the impact that he had on many, many students, and the gratitude that so many of them came back to express to him after they had left the high school and even our community. And I recognized that it was something that I wanted to do as well. I wanted to be able to impact some other people in a positive way. I found that very rewarding and continue to find it rewarding.
Which brings me to a poem that you have posted in your office called
Yes. If, Rudyard Kipling, yes.
Could you go into details as to why it's so important to you, that poem?
There was a time when I was in high school, I played a sport. I'm not a very good athlete, but I played a sport, and my younger brother was sort of helping out, and he did something he shouldn't have done, and one of the other players didn't appreciate what he did, and the following day in school decided that he was going to get my brother, and so right at the end of the day, my younger brother left the school, and this boy grabbed him, and a crowd gathered, and I didn't really know what was happening, but I left the school and saw the crowd, and of course I wanted to see what was going on, so I headed over, and I realized it was my brother that was being grappled by this other boy, and I rushed in and defended my brother, and so and someone yelled out, "Well, the police are coming," and well, things deteriorated from there. And so my father was very, very upset with me, and he told me afterwards he wasn't disappointed that I defended my brother, but he was upset with the way I handled it. And he gave me this poem and told me that it would help me in different circumstances that I would find myself in throughout my life. And I had to memorize it, and I know most of it now. I continue, and it's a wonderful poem. And
Is there any phrase in that poem that particularly stands out for you?
Yeah, there are two lines. If you can think and not let thoughts be your aim, or dream and not let dreams be your master, are two that I particularly care for.